What's up, everybody? Destroyer here. Welcome back to another Cast of the RotWK patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 1v1 on Forts of Isen II. Alrighty. Alright, our first player is BraBox as Mordor. And his opponent for this match is the mighty Solas as Men of the West. Solas, of course, if you aren't aware, is pretty much the best player of RotWK currently. And has been for a while. Other than Alexis, but yeah, we'll see if BraBox can beat him or not. I guess that would be interesting. I mean, Solas can lose. Don't get me wrong. He's by no means invincible, but he's obviously very good. Possibly I should turn off my shader. Yeah, well, I'll just deal with the white foggy effect. That's what happens when I don't turn off my shader. Annoying. Anyway, BraBox going for an orc pit. So he'll be getting orc warriors, undoubtedly. Let's begin throwing the spam out, and he's got a couple farms there. Solas is going for Gondor soldiers, and he's continuing to get his farms going. Nice placement of the barracks, of course, blocking one side of the farm, so he doesn't have to defend it as much. So obviously the opponent has to stand here, here, to attack it, which will make the fort very easily defendable. This side will really be the only side that's ideally attacked. But it's always good to try and position your buildings around your slaughterhouse or farms to keep them safe if you can. BraBox doing a similar thing, surrounding his slaughterhouse in orc pits, which is pretty nice as well. The only downside about this is once you lose this slaughterhouse and you have to replace it, it will be a severely diminished number of what you put originally, so you'll probably have to move it out farther, meaning you don't want to lose it, let's put it that way. Solas' first battalion of Gondor soldiers is coming out across and moving their way into BraBox's base here. And we'll begin engaging the orcs here. Rally call going down. Opting not to go for shield wall formation though. I guess it's not really needed against orcs, is it? I generally will throw my things in a shield wall formation even if they don't need to. Just because I can. And he's also got some Rohan Spearmen to creep the Warglare there. BraBox has sent some orcs across the field here. Doesn't look like they found a whole lot of anything, and Solas will engage them with Gondor soldiers shortly. These Gondor soldiers will last quite a while. Gondor soldiers are very good, I feel. They're very tanky. Once you put them in whole ground and put them in the shield wall. And of course, a mistake I used to make in the past was I thought whole ground stance actually slowed down units. It only slows down heroes and flying units and such, not actual units. So you can actually run around in whole ground stance with your units at full speed, which is good to know. And it looks like Solas is throwing down a stables there. So we'll begin getting Gondor Knights probably, I would imagine. And he's also spamming Gondor soldiers around the field. Also sending some Rohan Spearmen up here to try and deal with this troll. Doesn't look like they're having a good day. He's trying to get the troll to turn around so he can attack him in the back while he moves back there. It's a good tactic there to employ. Unfortunately, don't think it quite worked out as intended. These guys are level 2 though, he can pull them away and they will regenerate. So at least he has that. These Gondor soldiers are holding the line here, but of course the orc archers and BraBox will clean them up nicely. And Solas is also attacking over here. BraBox in the meantime has some orcs in the back of the base of Solas, but Solas does have some Gondor Knights on the field. And unfortunately, that is going to be for naught, as they do get insta-killed by them. Easily. I definitely think Solas has the advantage here, right now. He's got a good composition. But I do think BraBox has the numbers, of course. But with proper cav usage, if he shuts down these archers, then really all he has to fight is a bunch of orc warriors, which, to be honest, isn't really scary. Especially for a bunch of Gondor soldiers, as they outclass the orc warriors. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But BraBox is going for trolls. He's going for the drummer trolls, specifically. Which I feel is a good call. That leadership should be pretty big with this amount of orcs. I think he's also getting a horde bonus, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's like 5 battalions of orcs together get you a horde bonus or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what the horde bonus does. I don't know exactly how big it is or whatever, but I know it exists. It also kind of sucks that you don't get to see it in particle effect form. I think that's something that 1.09 or 1.08 was adding. Well, 1.8 would have added already. Which I think would be a good thing. The drum patrol is definitely going to be useful here. The fear, as well as the leadership, should be pretty big. And the drum patrol will be very, very useful against these Gondor soldiers, as you see there. It's not doing a ton of damage, but he is knocking them back, while the air archers pick them off. Which really is useful in itself. Solas is going to throw down a heroic statue there. He's not building any troops currently. Of course, if Solas can grab this inn here, though, he can start building Dunedain archers, or rangers rather, which of course are essentially Athelian rangers. I'm not sure statistically if they're exactly Athelian rangers, like reskins, or not. They might be slightly weaker. I'm not sure, but they pretty much do the same job, and they have a slightly different look. So that's definitely a nice alternative to having to build them out of a level 2 archer range. But of course, if he wants fire arrows on him, he would have to go for our level 3 archer range anyway. But these are, of course, 384 as to point. These are 480. Of course, these are decreased because of the heroic statue. Minusing the cost of infantry, but it'd be 500 and 400, I believe. BraBox moving across the southern ford here. He's also got some farm production going on this side. And he'll begin moving in that way with the North force. He's got a force in the back as well. Gondor archers and Rohan spearmen there to engage. I think Solas should be able to defend that, but maybe BraBox might get this farm. He is on tainted land as well, so that'd be pretty good for him. And the drum patrol is just continuing to buff these archers, allowing them to do what they need to do. Of course, they do need to actually be in combat, but I have no doubt BraBox is over here right now, making sure his armies are actually attacking what he wants them to. You can't be everywhere at once. I know that all too well. Unless you're some micro god, of course. Like some StarCraft 2 Pro. I've seen, I used to watch StarCraft 2 professional play. It's pretty crazy some of the things they're able to do at once. But it looks like BraBox should hold here. It's archers, I think. Just want to make sure his archers aren't taking too much damage. Of course, he can bring the drum patrol in there to just wallop on them a bit, which is always good. So far, I think BraBox is doing fairly well against Solas. I don't think Solas is in any danger, but he's not doing poorly. And there is the Dunedain Rangers. As you see, they drop orcs just as fast as you would expect. So the longer Solas has this in, I think, is a bad thing for BraBox. It is actually a problem I've had with the patch. It's not really a problem, but it's just like, why do Men of the West have such more powerful units coming out of inns than, say, Mordor does? What does Mordor get? Corsairs of Umbar or something? That is definitely no Dunedain Ranger. I realize it's hard to balance that, but perhaps certain factions should get different units in the inn. It was discussed at one point, but I can't remember what was going on with that. And with Excelsior no longer actually running the patch, actually BraBox here is actually running patch 2.2 development now. So there you go. Fun fact, but with Excelsior gone, I don't know what happened with that. Because that was his idea, of course, I believe. There are lots of things to do. You wouldn't think about it. You'd think, oh, the patch is in a pretty good spot right now. And I would agree. But there are things can be adjusted everywhere. Like BraBox is really doing the experience system, trying to redo that. Because the experience system in the game has always been broken. He's trying to fix that. So that's pretty good. That should be a nice change. And of course, like the in units could be changed around. Like I said, demolishers obviously need to be nerfed. We've seen that many a time. So there are changes that could happen. Some players think that goblins are a bit underpowered now, as opposed to being overpowered in the last patch version. So there's a lot of changes and differences between patches that could be implemented or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. For now, BraBox has himself a Mouth of Sauron. His base is fairly expensive. Although there is a Force of Solas here coming in. Looks like a lot of them are archers though. And fair amount, I think like 2 battalions of spearmen there, so Mouth of Sauron needs to be a little bit careful. Is that arrow volley power? Oh, that was beautiful. BraBox chose the arrow volley power, and that definitely was to great effect. Very nice indeed. Now BraBox going for an attack on Solas' base with a fair amount of units actually. Solas does have her Rohirrim on the field though. She's employing in bow mode. Bow mode Rohirrim obviously will drop orcs like nothing. And of course once they switch they can drop them like nothing as well. In general, they just drop orcs like nothing. So that's good. He's also got a well already to heal them up, which is also good for him. BraBox does not have enough troops left over here, I don't think, to do much damage. It's the problem with orcs. You may have a lot of orcs, but you won't get very much done with them, usually. You need some more powerful units like Black Orcs or Easterlings. I think he's definitely going to need some Easterlings. If he doesn't have an Easterling Palace, or Roger Palace, he definitely should throw one down. Or else those Rohirrim are going to give him a bad time. Continually. There's also a Faramir out here, as we've seen. He was being chased. But he is going to be good for sniping these drummer trolls, I would say. If he can nullify the leadership, then that will make things a lot easier on Solas, of course. Solas is trying to get these Rohan spearmen to kill this drummer troll. Just having a bit of issue doing so. Are they in Porcupine? They're in Porcupine formation for some inexplicable reason. I wonder why he would put these in Porcupine formation. I don't know. I mean, he could just kill the drummer troll with them. But he's opting not to do so. I mean, they do auto-attack when you get close enough, though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. The Rohirrim should finish off the drummer troll easily. There you go. Ooh, we got a troll just walking his way through some Dunedain Rangers. I think things are starting to wildly swing in Solas' favor, though. The more Rohirrim he gets, the worse things will be for BraBox, of course. And he is throwing down Rohan Palace and a Mumakil pen. Nice. That should be fairly good. Mumakil has potential to be absolutely destructive as hell. But Solas is pretty good. I think he'll be able to avoid the damage the Mumakil will do to him. With archer support and just keeping his units split up or being able to outmaneuver the Mumakil. Most players that say Mumakil are overpowered are the ones clumping up their armies against Mumakil. So, if you split up your army a little bit, some guys here, some guys here, some guys here, Mumakil can only do so much. They turn like a school bus. So they they're not maneuverable. And you can bring them down with rangers fairly easily if you have them just focusing it down. And there is, of course, the Rohirrim summon from Solas. That's going to be a bit destructive, I think. And is he going to send him straight after the Mumakil pen? He very well may. He's going to go for as much as he can, it looks like, probably. Taking down some slaughterhouses, some orc pits and such. Very nice indeed. What level is Faramir up to? 2. At level 6 he gains leadership. So that'll be useful for Solas. And he's also got himself an Eomer to ride with the Rohirrim. I almost said wide with the Rohirrim. Jesus. Silly wabbit. Crazy. Alright, there you go. The Mumakil pin is under attack. I actually hope it doesn't fall, because I want to see a Mumakil. But I have a feeling these will not despawn before getting rid of this Mumakil pen. Oh, BraBox better clear this Mumakil. Or okay, he is. He's canceled his Mumakil. He knows he's not going to get it done in time. If this building does go down before you finish your construction, you do lose the money that is building. So that would have been 1,600 resources he would have lost in addition to the Mumakil pen, which would be a huge loss for BraBox. So smartly, he was able to cancel that in time, thankfully. Malthasaurn is up to level 4. He does have his doubt ability. This would be a good doubt target right here, I would definitely say. Down comes the long shots, clearing up any little orcs there. There goes the doubts. Unfortunately, there's still some spearmen there. And Eomer as well. And I think things are starting to look bad for BraBox, definitely. If BraBox doesn't get some guys in the field soon, he's going to be overwhelmed by one of the West's troops. And of course, the riders of the Rohirrim are going to do very well here. He's keeping them in bow mode, though. Just using the archer mode to actually do the damage. Ooh, Eomer needs to get out of there. Ooh, just gets out. BraBox went for a Kamul. I said Kamul before I even looked. I just assumed it was Kamul. Of course, as you see, Eomer's spear throw, not the greatest, but it does a little bit. The Faramir wounding arrow is a little better. Eowyn's spear throw is much better than Eomer's spear throw for attacking fell beasts and single target hero kind of things. Eomer's is meant to attack units and do AoE damage. That's why it doesn't do good single target damage. So that's something to keep in mind. But he has pretty effectively nullified. Oh, is this troll gonna get Faramir? Faramir, of course, isn't gonna be able to outrun the troll. But he is kiting him around, allowing his Dunedain Rangers to pick him off. These are actually Ithilien Rangers here. Ithiliens and Dunedains working together under the leadership of Faramir, Captain of Gondor. Very nice. Solas is also attacking over here, trying to get rid of some BraBox's farms in the southwest. And he's also got the Malthasaurn surrounded by Rohirrim. Malthasaurn desperately trying to take this level 3 farm. I don't think that is going to happen. Unfortunately, he is going to die here. Oh! Ooh, nice. I think he's still going to die to the fort. Oh, it's going to be close. The level 3 farm is... Oh, don't tell me. Okay, he got away. Very, very close. That level 3 farm could have brought him down very easily. Although he might run into some Dunedain Rangers here and get picked off anyway. Or is he going to run straight into the army over here? I think that was a bit of a mistake. I don't know what that was about. He had no life. Probably should have ran home. Unfortunate for him. And of course in 2.02, heroes take quite a bit of time to come back, so you don't want to lose your heroes. Definitely encouragement to keep your heroes alive, as opposed to other patches of the game where you can just pretty much hero spam, let them die, and bring them back right away and refresh their powers and such. 2.02 avoids that by increasing the timer for revival. Oops, little Faramir got a bit too deep in there. That was definitely an accident. Pretty sure he wouldn't do that on purpose. Now BraBox has to defend against a lot of troops here. He does have barrage though. Barrage going down on the army of Solas. Very nice. Made short work of those. Now all of his Rohirrim are dead. That was definitely a good use of that. Otherwise, he would have trouble taking out those Rohirrims. And they would just keep leveling. Down goes a long shot from one of the Rangers. Clipping a few orcs there. Not doing too much. Because we have Rangers hiding in the trees. Of course, orcs don't do a ton of damage, but if they do get up close to really weak things like Rangers, they will carve through them. And I think they actually will kill them. Nope. There is enough Rangers left, only just, But there, of course, the rest of these will mop up. And now BraBox is pushing forward across the ford now. Renewed vigor after his attack. He's going for a counterattack here. Hopefully he can make something happen. He's got orc pits all over the place. In the front and the back of his base. 6 of them, it looks like. Horizon Palace level 2 and a troll cage going up to level 3 right now. Looks like he is planning for attack trolls, which will be very useful. Attack trolls are very beastly, very strong. So hopefully those work out well for him. I would love to see BraBox winning in this game. I don't know if it'll happen, but I would love to see it. I believe BraBox is host as well, if that makes any difference. The on-host does have a slight advantage, but I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. We do have, of course, Boromir here on the field for Solas. He's being sent to the front lines to defend Gondor's lands from enemy siege. So he'll be fighting in defense of the Men of the West for quite some time over there, I think. Well, Solas defends in the southwest here as well. You could also throw down a long shot right here if you wanted to. Or just run away. One of the two. Or just burst him down and then go heal up later. He is level 2. They will regenerate, so he can't afford to sit there and tank those guys. Look at Boromir. What a boss. Surrounded by orcs, but giving no shits. This is as far as I can zoom in. It's never far enough. Very cool. And come the Rohirrim cleaning that up nicely. Aimer to the rescue. There is indeed an attack troll in the field now. I'm curious to see how well it does. Attack trolls do very good damage with their big old clubs. So hopefully he can catch some Rohirrims or something and hit them in the face with it. Easier said than done, of course. Ooh, I think Boromir's made a huge mistake. Oh dear. Oh, will BraBox get out in time? Nice job, BraBox, pulling out of there. That could have been a disaster with the amount of orcs he had clumped up there. The troll is moving in on the rangers though, and look at that insta-kill. There's a bunch of them. Attack trolls do not mess around. Looks like there's a Hobbit summon as well from Solas. There is indeed. But all the rangers have been cleaned up by this single attack troll. All but one, at least. You should really finish that one off. Problem is he has his troll and hold ground stance, which does make it tankier, of course, but he doesn't auto-target. And if you're off doing other things, you can't tell your troll to do something. Of course, he doesn't want to sit there and take those Silverthorn rocks. They do hurt. Oof. Bad did he be a hobbit. That is no lie. I think BraBox is actually doing fairly well, though. BraBox is a good player, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't say he's Solas level, but he's definitely good. So, he's doing quite well, I think. Of course, Solas has yet to be in any actual danger, though. So there is that to be pointed out. But now there's BraBox, really. His base is recovered. He was in danger at one point from the Rohirrim attack. The summon Rohirrim. Not in danger of losing, but he did lose, I guess, move, kill pet and such. But I would definitely say he's recovered from that. I think he's opted not to make move kill anymore, which is probably a wise decision, actually. He opted instead to go for attack trolls, which is actually a better idea. Because these rangers, this amount of rangers will bring down a move kill in no time. They'll even bring down an attack troll in no time without support, so things are going to get difficult, I think. Malthasaran should probably use Doubt here. They need to be debuffed. Or not. He just wants to get him alive. Get him out of there. That's fair enough. Looks like Morgamir's on the field now. I don't even know what happened to his other fellow beasts, but I can imagine I know that. He has so much rangers. Oh no! Insta-killed Morgamir. BraBox made a huge mistake flying over that amount of rangers and not doing anything with it. A terrible mistake. Costly. Solas has a Gandalf. Well, that's a thing. That's the problem. Because BraBox isn't able to take out all these farms, Solas is just free to save up money. And get himself nice little heroes like Gandalf. I'd say the BraBox hasn't actually got a lot of money because he's fell beasts and such. There's the wounding arrow taking effect, causes target muscles to flee. That tactile running away with flailing after being shot with that. So it does indeed work against tactiles. Faramir is only just quick enough to get away from that. I do think BraBox needs to be employing more Easterlings though. He's going too heavy on the Orc and not enough Easterling, I feel. Considering how heavily Solas is going into the cavalry, he should really be having a lot more of those. But, I mean, it's working, but it's not working. Unfortunately, the tactile does fall once again. Such costly losses when you lose your attack trolls. They are 1,000 each, so they're not cheap by any means. And of course, you have to have a level 3 troll cages to get the damn things. You could go for Black Riders. I think Black Riders would be huge here, actually. I would definitely recommend he do so. With the amount of Rangers that are being employed by Solas, I think Black Riders would be excellent. But the downside about Black Riders against Men of the West, Boromir's Horn actually stuns Black Riders, believe it or not, until they're level 5. They get stunned by Boromir's Horn, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it does happen. So that's something to keep in mind. Look at that moonwalking troll and that Gandalf Wizard Blast. Savage. Solas is in complete control here now, I think. Of this part of the map, at least. He's not in complete control of the game, but he's getting there. BraBox is putting up a good fight, but I think his unit composition is poor. Very poor for what he's fighting. I mean, where are the Easterlings? Why are there no Easterlings? It pains me to see. I mean, trolls are great for countering cavalry, don't get me wrong, but they're no replacement for pikemen. I think maybe he's hoping that they will get stuck in the clumps of orcs and just he can slam them around with the troll. It makes some sense, but at the same time, I don't know if it's the... Like, you could at least have one battalion of pikemen in there. And that would make it pretty invulnerable to actual cavalry attacks, because obviously no cavalry is going to want to charge into a clump of orcs with a pike in there and a troll, because then they would just get destroyed. Oh, he did indeed do the Black Riders. They are dropping like flies, though. He's already down to 1. It's almost dead. Ooh, this Earthquake actually finishing off the Black Rider as well. Nice timed Earthquake by Solas. Following it up, of course, with a Rohan ally summon. I think this is GG here. Assuming Solas has enough troops to finish him off. BraBox is going for an attack, but an attack with a bunch of Orc warriors, unfortunately. So he's not going to get a lot done, and of course the Rohan will answer the call. That sucks. Sucks for BraBox. How close is BraBox to a level 25? He is not very close because he went for 2 15s. That is an unfortunate turn of events. Looks like Solas actually went for 2 15s as well. He's been gaining more power points. He's also up to 17 already. Solas definitely ahead in the power point front. But yeah, I think Solas has enough to finish this game, possibly. Depends on how much he can get killed off for these despawn. And Gandalf is over here still as well. As well as some Rangers. The Rangers obviously aren't going to take the fort down. Once he defends against the attacking forces, he can send all his might to the Mordor base and finish it off. Which I have no doubt is what he's planning on doing. Looks like a heal was thrown down there as well. Boromir is there also at level 6, very nice. Faramir as well in melee mode, helping take down some structures. And now we see what the bulk of his army is made of for reals. Just heroes. Heroes and hobbits. Now those Rohan summons are gone. But he has pretty much destroyed everything with it. And there you go. You get to see right in effect Boromir's Horn freezing the Black Riders, allowing Gandalf to use the Lightning Sword, and Tom Bombadil being summoned in to hit them as well. Boromir is an excellent counter to them, apparently. Who would have thought? Once you get them to level 5, they will get the Fear Resist from anything getting to level 5. But yeah. It's risky to use them against Boromir, apparently. Oh, and unfortunately we ran away into some pikemen. BraBox trying desperately to rebuild. I think it's too little too late. His base is in tatters, and all Solas needs to do is seal the deal here. Fortunately, the fortress does have a couple barricade expansion on it, so it'll make it a little bit difficult for Solas to finish off. He just needs to get the bulk of his force together, and then he can do it easily. Ooh, there we go. Captain of Gondor being used by Solas. Lovely. So now we have a bunch of level 5 Rohirrims and level 5 Rohan Spearmans and such. Nasty. He's going for full extermination. BraBox does have a force on the field, though. He actually has a couple orc bits over here. And he is going for attacks on Solas' base. Solas' base is taking a little bit of damage, not much. Solas throwing down the marketplace as well. For that extra 12% gold on all his farms production. Oh, Faramir sniped the old mouth of Sauron. That's unfortunate. Nothing like being killed by Faramir, Captain of Gondor. Am I right? I am right. Depressing situation to be in. Although, it does, his wounding arrow does more than this spear throw does, so at least he didn't get killed by an arrow or spear throw or something. Solas will probably need a trebuchet though if he wants to finish this game, I think. He might. He might not. I mean, if he's planning on going for like Forged Blades, he could do it that way, I guess. Even fire arrows will probably do it. Just needs to get rid of these two things, and then he could circle around it with Rohirrim or something. Or he could just ignore it completely and go for it with heroes and Rohirrim. That would work too. He does have Army of the Dead. Ooh, that's going to be unfortunate for BraBox. BraBox is up to 17 power points. He is getting very close to Balrog, I'm assuming. Or Fires of Doom, but I would assume Balrog probably. I hope. Most players go for Balrog first, as that is the most powerful spell you have in your arsenal. You can take out an army and a base, so I think Balrog is definitely always the first choice for anyone. And if it's not, then you're probably prioritizing incorrectly. That shows the power of an attack roll, though. When up against a small force, they do very nicely. And this shows the downside of hold ground stance in a nutshell. Attack rolls is like, I'm being shot. I can't do anything. Hold ground stance, sorry. Oh, I heard it. A couple long shots going down there, killing a lot of orcs, but I heard the glorious sound of Mumakil. Oh, he went for the sneaky Mumik. Yes. BraBox, you monster. Mumakil has been brought to the field. Whether it does any good or not will remain to be seen, but I just like the fact it's here. And that, quite frankly, is enough for me. I think actually Wounding Arrow from Faramir actually makes the Mumakil flee. If I'm not mistaken. It is a beast, so I'm pretty sure it does. But I would like to see it shot with it, to see it in action, just to know for sure. Gandalf's up to level 6. He does have Shadowfax. And at level 7, of course, he gets a Starry Light. Is Starry Light, rather. I always say it's... Well, I don't even remember what I said before. But hey, yeah, there you go. His Starry Light is a very powerful single attack. Looks like Solas didn't need to go for Forged Blades for his Rohirrim. It's a good call. It definitely increases their attack power by quite a bit. Dunedain is being summoned in to deal with this troll. This troll is level 5. Level 5 trolls are quite tanky. Look at him tanking this like a boss. If Solas can bring down that level 5 troll, that would be definitely a good thing for him. BraBox trying to hide the troll in the trees. Not quite working out, is it? And now Solas has his base surrounded. Things are looking bleak. But there is a Balrog ready to be summoned. Yeah, we know he'll at least summon that before the game's over. So at least we got that. But, of course, we do have Army of the Dead to be summoned against the Balrog. So that'll probably kill it. Or BraBox will use his Fire Breath, if he can somehow get it to point the right direction on in time, and kill the Army of the Dead as well. As that Fire Breath does do magic damage, it will kill the Army of the Dead. I think his... I can't remember if Balrog's regular attack actually kills Balrog. Army of the Dead being summoned in to deal with the Mumakil. Mouth of Sauron is going to get away though. And Balrog is being summoned in the base of Solas. Very nice. He will be able to do a fair amount of damage to the base of Solas with this Balrog, but he won't be able to do a crippling blow of any kind. He'll probably get a few structures beyond. A few key structures, but meanwhile his base is being taken down by the forces of good. So that is no good for him. And there's the worm summon. Defensive worm. Haha. Gandalf going for the lightning sword. And there goes the fort. BraBox's fort is toast. Balrog is doing some damage, but his base is going to be no longer. Let's just look at Balrog. Balrog's so cool. Yeah. We already know BraBox is going to die, so I'll just watch Balrog in all his glory. Yes. Just the Mumakil pen, of course, up there in the north. Other than that, not a whole lot to be seen over here, to be honest. Just him being cleaned up. BraBox did a lot of damage to that Balrog, though. Look at all those buildings are going. If only he was like, in a good situation, had a force to actually attack with, he would be in a pretty good spot for a counterattack. Unfortunately, though, quite the opposite. And now Solas will be walking towards his last remaining building, which I'm assuming is the last remaining building. I do see some green down here. Slaughterhouse, though. Where's the Rohan summon? Ah! BraBox trying to build a sneaky little fort over here. I see. Of course, Solas is not going to let that happen. So once that fort and that Mumakil pen are gone, I believe BraBox will be out of the game. But he put up a hell of a fight. And that was a pretty good game. I enjoyed that greatly. Very nice. I do think earlier on, BraBox probably should have thrown some pikes in his army composition a little bit more. Other than that, I thought he did pretty well. Maybe, would have been good against that amount of Rohirrim. Well, getting Black Riders sooner, maybe. But Boromir against Black Riders just really shuts him down. So I don't know. I don't know what I would do differently, but I think a little bit more pikemen earlier on would have been nice. Other than that, I thought he did pretty well. But I'm sure there was obviously something he could have did better because he would have won. But I thought he did pretty well against Solas, and I hope you guys enjoyed that cast of the Rise of the Witch King patch 2.2 version 6, and I'll see you guys next time.